What up? All right, that was pretty cool. The music ended as soon as I switched over, so that's a pretty cool thing. So welcome to the Square Circle podcast. I'm your host, Marie Shadows, and we have a lot to go over today. Like, first of all, seriously, what the fuck? Um, I just think that, tweeting out the ass doesn't equate to getting ratings for tonight's Rampage. I really don't think so. Um, I I think I want to jump in very hot and heavy with the whole TK situation and then work our way down to smaller things. So like I want to call it a TK situation because he tends to really like talk out his ass for no fucking reason. Like, there's one thing to bait people, there's one thing to like really hate the fact that you see a lot of negative comments. But if you're not going to step back and realize, all right, why are people having such a negative feeling towards the product? Why? Hold on. Why are people having this negative feeling towards the product? How can I make it better? You don't make matches that are random. You don't just throw stupid ass storylines because one person looked the other one like the wrong way or anything like that, right? Like, you don't treat your company that's on national television as if it's the fucking asylum. You don't do that where the inmates run it. And obviously, every single person has been running it by themselves. Everyone has different types of ideologies, and there's no like big overall umbrella ideology where people can agree to. And even if they don't agree, they could just agree to disagree because you are getting a check there. And, if that's the case of people paying bots to do the work, then I should get paid too, like everyone else has been saying on Twitter. Like from day one of AEW, I've been talking about all the shit that needs to improve. And it seems like this year, some things have improved. We saw that, the women can main event. We saw that the women can do hardcore matches. We saw that the women can have like the loophole by being on Rampage. I feel kind of weird that there's nothing in this box. So let me put up some images. Uh, just because of I feel weird that there's a black box there and you guys are just listening to me and not like seeing anything. I'm not gonna like show you what I was like talking about, like when I said that the women can main event this and that. It's mainly going to be what do you call it? The tweet, because we're gonna discuss that tweet first and then all the rest of the tweets. I don't know if I could have like more than one on here because he tweeted out like multiple stuff and then like had to be like talking about his other company and shit. Let me not go too far to like confuse any of you guys. And of course, I want to thank you guys for being here with me. And yeah, I started right out the gate. This is an official Square Circle podcast episode. So you are watching this live here via Twitch. If you're watching the replay, thank you for watching the replay too. Make sure to hit that follow button. And for anyone on the audio side of things, so anchor.fm/Square Circle podcast, anyone over there, you guys, I would try my best to, articulate every single little thing so that you guys are not out of the loop. And, just in case if I'm not describing a picture of something, you know why. It's basically this is live. Anyway, before I do anything else, let me. So before I started streaming, I was playing a little bit of Watchdog Legions by doing some like outside stuff. I just wanted to turn it off for now. Don't worry, the pictures are coming. there's stuff that I don't agree with. Oh yeah, so let me just continue on with the whole woman talk, right? So you know, we've seen that women can go through the loophole main eventing on Rampage, right? Because Rampage is on Fridays at 10. It's such a weird fucking thing that it hasn't been fixed yet. It's like you want to throw your jabs at WWE, but you don't want to go head to head with them because you know you're not gonna like fucking win. Um, okay. So that's what I hate. Like he talks a lot of shit from afar. And I know that you guys might think in your head, oh well, hold on. I swear, man. Um, but yeah, you guys might say that, oh, I'm talking about this now and like this, and that, if I ever meet him, it's gonna be a completely different change. And no, it's not. It's not going to be that different change where you see people on Twitter do where they talk a lot of shit about somebody and then at the moment that they meet them they're like, "Oh my god, you were always my favorite." No. Like I have a lot of legit questions for Tony Khan. I have a lot of legit questions, but no one seems to want to ask the real big legit questions when it comes to his Twitter game, when it comes to like the things he says, because it's like, dude, um you're supposed to be running a company on national television. You're supposed to secure deals where eventually you can walk on your own 2 feet, and you don't really need to buy other things, and AEW be okay, right? Like, he might be doing that stuff in the background, but at the same time it's like, why are you coming out and like tweeting about stupid shit? Why? um all right, let's get into this, right? um Let me just tweet out one more time. And yeah, for those of you that are watching me, you guys can automatically like um so you guys can tell other people that I'm live. Wow. Okay. All right. All right, let me tweet out one more time and then we're gonna go right into these tweets. 'Cause I gotta stop probably doing this. So you know how it is. Well, no, 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 never really. Not many people know how it is. But let me just say that being in the podcasting space gives you the opportunity to use your voice and to voice your concerns, your opinions, and stuff like that. The same thing with writing, but sometimes maybe not a lot of people write, and then they don't feel comfortable about it. We say this so many times in the podcasting community that there are people not willing to like really question um things that people do. But if this was Vince McMahon going crazy on Twitter, it'll be a whole nother story. It'll be something different. Um, so right. Let's let's just jump right into these tweets. And you know what? I'm probably gonna take off Twitter at this point. Because if not, I'm not gonna focus on what I need to focus on. Um, and I've said it before that it's okay if I end up losing my special privilege, which I'll tell you right now, it's not as big as you might think it is. When I say my special privilege is, getting stuff from AEW, like, press photos and the unrestricted AEW podcast, so I can like give it to you guys and stuff, and like all these videos and stuff like that for me to share. Because obviously they want to get their content out, and I can respect the fact that they want to get their content out. However, I just don't agree with the way that Tony Khan tends to do things. I don't agree that he goes out and tweets out of his way to sort of backhand the freaking fans who built his company, and then decided to bring their casual friends along and get them on the AEW bandwagon and then backslap them too. It's like we go 3 steps forward, right, with some good stuff. Like I was saying that the women, sometimes can main event in Dynamite, and then like on Rampage they may like get the loophole to like main event and stuff like that. Go we sort of go like 3 steps forward and then like take a huge giant step back. And it makes no fucking sense. It really doesn't. This isn't the first time that like, he'll come out and like clap back at everybody. And it's like, first of all, get off of social media and make sure that you are booking your promotion right. You have Ring of Honor now under your belt. You don't need social media to constantly tweet out like, "Hey guys, I need your views. I need you guys to tune in on Dynamite. I need you guys to tune in on like all the shit that we have." And it's like you haven't produced anything good in a while. In 2019, before Kenny, eventually had to give up the belt, meaning that he lost to Hangman Adam Page, and saying that he had all these injuries while he was, going through the motions. There hasn't been anything good. But then again, you guys fucked up the Hangman and Kenny Omega, thing. You guys fucked that up. Anyway, so Tony Khan says in the first tweet, where it is to your left, I guess, if that's the correct way of saying it. He says an independent study has confirmed that much of the staunch anti-AEW online community aren't real individuals. It's a staff running thousands of accounts, plus an army of bots to single boost them. Look closely, these aren't real people. Who'd pay for such a wildly expensive thing? Man, first I would like to say that the fans that say that reading comprehension needs to happen with a lot of people. First of all, Tony said this with his chest. Okay? Even though he's writing this and he's using his fingers and stuff like that, like he said this with his chest. The only reason why it gets me a little upset is because you know, because it definitely feels like a backhanded comment. It definitely feels like everything that I have ever said that is with constructive criticism on my podcast, on other people's podcasts who love and enjoy AEW, but they get frustrated in the process because it feels like no one's listening, and it feels like Tony Khan knows all when he doesn't know shit about like the backstage true politics when it comes to wrestling, that he doesn't have that wrestling background. And people say that he's the promoter of the year and the booker of the year. Well, that's fucking Uncle Dave's fault. Like if Uncle Dave didn't push the fucking narrative and, people didn't vote that he's the best booker, it got to everybody's head because, Tony Khan is that person who's 40 years old. He's turning 40 this year. Who's that 40-year-old down in their mom's basement who made it on luck, who made it on the fact that his dad already had the fucking money. And then other people like myself and others who do this are, have to get by with what they have. And sometimes luck may not come their way. Sometimes luck does come their way. So everyone has different situations. The point is that he's living everyone's fucking dream and throwing the same tantrums that you see other people throw on Twitter. But again, is anyone ready for this conversation? I don't think no one is ready for this fucking conversation, including Tony Khan, because, he wouldn't be a child for doing this. He wouldn't be a child for reacting like this. You're there to put on the best show that you can. You're there to make sure that people get time to tell their stories and not keep signing guys and not keep, rotating guys and stuff like that. You're there to build a show. I said this before, if you look at your favorite HBO show, your favorite Showtime show, imagine if they rotated the main character where you see him in like 2 episodes, which would be like 2 weeks. And then, 9 weeks later, you see him again, or you see her again. Like, that doesn't make sense. You as a fan would get frustrated because you're like, ooh, I like the main character. You're supposed to be invested into the main character. And at this point in AEW, we could say the main character is Hangman Adam Page, right? But he's not very fucking interesting right now. He really isn't. He's not guiding me to want to watch AEW Dynamite. He's not doing it. And then to challenge Adam Cole to a Texas death match? What? Man, all right. Let me get back to this tweet because there's just a lot of stupid shit that happens. Maybe one day we could do a show where like I book an AEW fucking Dynamite. Anyway, so he somehow hired his own person or agency, if they do this, to do this independent study. First of all, you kind of failed in like your attempts at this because he didn't show proof of where this study was. He didn't show even a link of like, all right, this is the study and stuff like that. So, I'm just here like, yo, this is bullshit. Like, you just wanted to tweet out something to tweet it out. And, I will take that back once a study shows up. But if you're going to start it out with saying, independent study has confirmed, what? Anybody who has a proper education, when going through like elementary school and like middle school, they teach you that sources are everything. Make sure to double check your sources. Never use Wikipedia. Just make sure that like you correctly label your first-hand source and your second-hand source, right? So that way you can present your findings. Vortex, I have no idea. I wish I knew. Oh, and by the way, for those listening on audio, Vortex asks a very important question. What studies or research are they looking at? So honestly, Vortex, this started exactly how I'm talking about it, exactly how you see it there. He never gave up that information when like you need that information. You need the information where it says, we looked at, I don't know, 2 groups of wrestling fans. One group is pure AEW, and the other one is anti AEW. And we sat them in like 2 different rooms and we gauged their response, their emotions, but none of that was ever given to us at all. And I really don't think it's going to be given to us. This is why I call bullshit. And he just wants to have an uproar and stuff like that. So first of all, if he was ever going to be a journalist or anything, he fucking failed. So I could definitely speak on the anti AEW online community. Okay, I could definitely speak on that because I found that the AEW community anyway gives me the cold fucking shoulder. That does not make me anti AEW when I said it multiple times that I want AEW to succeed. Everyone that I talk to wants AEW to succeed. There are the few. I'm putting it gently and mildly. There are the few that, even though it's like a handful, it's definitely a handful of people that are on Twitter, and they do constantly spew this hatred for AEW, and they praise like WWE, which it's okay sometimes, like you can have that in this. You could definitely have that in this war between AEW and WWE, but there's only like the selected few that have this anti AEW outlook. So basically, what does that mean? Most of the time, they basically are accounts that have like first name with a bunch of numbers, or first name, last name, bunch of numbers. Their profile pictures are anime looking, and you could definitely tell who's anti AEW and who talks out their ass versus the ones that give constructive criticism, the ones that give a tiny bit of criticism because they're like, oh, I enjoyed the whole show, but I didn't enjoy this little piece. Here's why. You could tell the difference. The main problem is that because Tony decided to be this public figure and to reveal so much behind the scenes, it's biting him in the fucking ass. And it's like, dude, you obviously don't have a fucking business degree. And you obviously never worked an ordinary 9-to-5 job in your fucking life. So this is why you're getting this fucking backlash, is because you think that whatever you tweet is going to be golden. And obviously this is what he wants. This is what he wants, from commenters like myself and other people. If other people are going to go live, I don't know. But I'm just saying that this is the kind of advertisement that he wants, so that way people could go watch Rampage. Which brings me into this other point of that it's really sad that you have to create tweets like this that get people riled up just so that way you could bait them into watching Rampage to raise up the ratings. That means that your product is not fucking good right now, and you have to go back to the drawing board and ask Warner Media, can we move Rampage to a different night? Can we move Rampage to a different time setting? Because you're exhausting wrestling fans by having it on a Friday night at 10 p.m. The people that are watching WWE SmackDown on Friday night, SmackDown starts at 8 p.m., ends at 10 p.m. Most of those people have been checked out, and most of them are older men, older women with families. Sometimes you might get the occasional, teenager to maybe 28-year-old where they'll stay up to watch, Rampage. But most of the time you're dealing with families who are married, who have kids, and, get tired because they've been working the whole week, or maybe the woman or the man have a job that requires them to be somewhere early on a Saturday, right? So they're already exhausted. So you're relying on all the, very, I was going to use the word impressionable. The very impressionable teenagers to 20-year-olds to get your ratings up. Now, back in the day, in the Attitude Era, yes, there were tactics thrown around. There were, a lot of messy things thrown around to back and forth and whatnot to get people to watch and get the ratings up. And this was back when it was WCW versus WWE. And for the longest, WCW was beating WWE in the ratings, but the downfall of WCW was the inmates running the asylum. Money was sort of running out. Creative control was really bad. A lot of bad decisions led to the downfall of WCW. WCW was on the brink of taking over the wrestling world and putting WWE out of business because WWE for the longest continued to do what WWE knows best: build characters, build larger than life, characters for that as well. Continue to do what they were doing, and sometimes the Monday Night Raw episodes were taped. So, Eric Bischoff had to go and ruin the main event of one of the Monday Night Raws, and that sort of bit WCW in the ass. Oh, and by the way, if anyone is wondering why I'm bringing up WCW versus WWE in the Attitude Era, is because my lovely Vortex does not know wrestling like that. So, I'm giving everyone just a background and stuff like that. And, just trying to sort of put this into perspective of like the same thing that WCW was doing, right? AEW is doing it, but again, nobody wants to have that conversation. And, probably Tony doesn't want to have that conversation either, because the times that Eric Bischoff decided to come out and comment about it, about the way that Tony would speak about WCW, Tony didn't like it. So again, another childish moment where, I don't even know if Tony Khan ever like grew up to be a man. And I'm not saying like, he has to have like toxic masculinity or whatever, but when someone says like, why don't you grow up? You should be a grown ass man. In this context, it will be, you need to understand the perspectives of people, but at the same time, like, not everything might be a personal attack. And then sometimes people just tend to help you, but the way that you react towards it doesn't really make you a man that can function and think clearly and make judgment calls rather than like stupid decisions. But yeah, going back to the anti AEW online community, like I said, it's only a handful of people that will just go on other people's happy tweets and would, say some really stupid shit. It's only a handful, but sometimes it's like when I see the positive tweets, I feel like not everything could be positive, like you get that serotonin feeling when you watch a tag team match that has a bunch of spots. But are you going to talk about it the next day? Are you going to talk about it in 3 days? Are you going to say that was the best match of the year? No, you're not. Does anybody out there even remember in the past couple of weeks the best matches on the AEW Dynamite card? Like, you had to really think about this. Like, you can't just have one awesome match for 1 week and then, next week you're gonna try to top that, but then like it's not gonna hit the same or whatever. Like, you can't keep going 100 miles per hour thinking that every single AEW Dynamite show is the best. Now, I'm not saying that you cannot have fun. You can have fun. You can love what you want to love, but be realistic and be in the gray area of like, all right, cool. I love this show, but here are some inconsistencies that I find with it. And everyone that is pro AEW can never fucking find an inconsistency because they want it to be great. And when you cater to fans like that, you're stopping your growth. Um, as you can tell, this got me so it got me somewhat heated. Just because I'm part of this, and I make it a mission to sort of want to help and work for another company, but Tony Khan doesn't seem like wanting to hire more personnel. So like, this is what I can do. Talk about it and then give suggestions of like, hey, this is how you could change this. This is how you could change that. But again, he doesn't want to have that help. And um, it's like Cody was right. Cody was right to leave. Thank God Cody left. And I've been giving Cody a lot of shit. I've been giving Cody a lot of shit. But seeing it now, I'm like, yeah, your best bet was to leave. Your best bet was really, really to leave. All right, so let's go on to the second part of this tweet specifically. It's a staff running thousands of accounts plus an army of bots to single boost them. First of all, there are probably agencies and there are jobs that require people to create accounts and to have these bots mess with the algorithm so that way you can see the stupidity on your feeds even though you've never asked for it, right? So like, you ever wonder why you start seeing something new on your like Twitter timeline, Facebook timeline, Instagram timeline, whatever social media platform you're on? It's because agencies do reach out to people with the right backgrounds for them to manage social media accounts. And at times you could be managing like a lot of these bots. And we know this for a fact. It's not like he's saying anything new. It's just the manner of how he phrases it. And it's just the manner of him putting it out without thinking there's not going to be any repercussions. There's not going to be any pushback from actual fans that, I've interacted with, and they're good people. That's the problem. He puts out tweets thinking that he's untouchable. And it's like, bro, it looks like you're going to weasel your way out of shit because you respond to the wrong people. You don't want to get a round table of people who can put their 2 senses in and be like, hey, let's make AEW better for the future, because I still believe, even though right now it's probably like 10% of me, I still believe that AEW is the alternative. In some way, shape, or form, AEW is the alternative, and I'm just gonna go with that, like 10%. Other than that, there are, like I said, there are agencies. Oh my God, I hate that. There are agencies that will hire people to, have all these bots. Look closely, these aren't real people. First of all, the bots may not be real people, but the people behind them to log in every single fucking day, make a living, and get paid for it are real people. That's also the other thing I have a problem with this, is that you just dismiss these people that work at something, even though we don't like it and we think that, it's very silly or whatnot, but in this day and age, money like is over everything, right? But at the same time, someone is sitting behind a computer screen from an agency getting paid. Who'd pay for such a wildly expensive thing? This tells me you don't know business. This tells me you really don't know a lot of things. People usually praise Tony Khan for his passion for the business and all this, but it's empty promises. And, it just annoys the hell out of me that someone who owns a company that's on national television can continuously thank you guys, meaning the fans and everybody else can continuously thank you guys, but yet then pump out this shit and it's like a backhanded comment, and all the people that he thanks are all like praising him, and they're like, oh, Tony came out today and all this shit, and it's like, what? Like, are you guys so deep into that Stockholm Syndrome where, like, they tell you that you're doing a good job, you're awesome, you're great, and then that gets into your mind, and then all of a sudden they hit you with a backhanded comment and it's okay? This is what assholes do. Assholes have this tendency of treating you nicely, right? So they're going to watch, they're gonna tell you, hey, watch this hand. This hand is gonna treat you nice. This hand is gonna treat you like a queen, a king, whatever it is, like it's gonna treat you nice, right? And you're like, oh my God, yes, you're amazing. You treat me with respect and awesomeness. But at the same time, the other hand is gonna backslap the shit out of you. And you're gonna take it and you're gonna like it and you're just gonna be like, oh, but he treats me nice. Oh, but she treats me nice. Where have you guys heard that before? Like, that's an actual fucking experience. And this is what the first comment is. It's basically a fucking backslap. Just because you sort of dismiss actual people working behind the scenes to mess up the algorithm, even though I'm not saying that, yay for that, yay for the bots. It's the idea of, do you not consider people human beings? And then people on Twitter make a fucking mockery of this and they wonder why. Well, I wonder why Tony Khan gets away with it without, getting pressured into anything. Like, if this was WWE tweeting this out, like, people would go for their fucking heads. If this was, a wrestler who doesn't agree with someone's agenda or doesn't agree with, anything, they go after their heads and they cancel them. But if it's Tony Khan, it's okay. Like, I don't understand. I really don't. And, people might think that I'm a little overreacting on this, but like, sir, you have a show to do. Rampage is taped. WWE does not care about AEW, so this is why they haven't even, have the commentators on commentary be like, hey guys, if you're tuning into AEW Rampage, please don't, because we're going to spoil some stuff. They haven't done that. The only reason why you can't get the ratings that you want or need is because, one, it's at a bad time slot. Two, it's a bunch of fucking matches. There's nothing else to it. There's no story. There's nothing. So timing and bad matches, that is everything. Like, I don't get it. Let's look at the next one, which is oh, not that one. Is it this one? All right, so we're gonna look at the one that says the Jabba Knocker Wrestling Podcast. And by the way, they are cool buddies of mine. I'm not. I only have them here is because this was a sequence, and this sequence is very, 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 very telling. Excuse me. This sequence is very, very telling because, by the way, I really don't care for Amy Nemini and Andy Nemini. We all blocked each other. Even WrestleJoy blocked me and I blocked them. There was this big whole fucking drama shit that happened like 2 years ago. So we're all fucking blocked. But anyway, she had comment on it, now, I'm also not saying that, like, these bots are not going to come after you. I mean, sometimes they are. But at the same time, it's like, if you're going to be a fan, that's awesome. But also make sure that you see things in the gray spectrum and not just fully fucking praise something because you think it's better than WWE. Like, WWE and AEW both have their flaws. But like I said, if it's AEW, it's 100% yay. If it's WWE, it's 100% no. And it's like, you have to be somewhere in the middle. And this is why people go after those accounts that are just pro something. If I feel like AEW needs to improve on something, you guys know I'm opening up my mouth about it. If I feel like WWE needs to improve on something, the only reason why I don't speak on stuff WWE needs to improve is because they have been in their own bubble ever since WWE got transferred over to Vince Jr. from his father, Vince Sr. So they've always been in this bubble. And they've always did whatever they wanted to do. It's only like a good handful of years that they've listened to the fans and created the Women's Evolution pay-per-view, where it's an all women's pay-per-view, because we're like, hey, showcase the women, they're really good. Only now have they really like listened to us. But essentially WWE does WWE things. Like, you can't tell WWE different, and you're not gonna see Vince McMahon on Twitter tweeting away as if like, he's trying to get all the attention that he wants. So that's like the only difference. So yeah. So again, I love the Jabba Knocker Wrestling Podcast. They're cool. So they're replying to Amy. They're saying the fact that he actually tweeted it makes him look very bad. Fuck yeah, it makes him look bad. It really makes him look fucking bad. In no way, shape, or form, like, can you bounce back from it? But because he's Tony Khan, he's gonna bounce back from it because people are on that dick sucking ride. Jeez, man, this makes me so upset because it's like, I want to love the product again. I want to be a fan again, but like, all this shit is turning me away. The same way with the fucking Young Bucks too. All right. Sammy over here replies to the Jabba Knocker Wrestling Podcast with, he has been blocking people all day. Then Tony Khan comes in like a fucking child and says, no, your other account is literally the only account I blocked today. Excuse me? But people on Twitter will give shit to other people that say, hey, this wrestler blocked me. That's a W for that person. And they'll showcase it. They're like, oh, this wrestler blocked me. And then like the caption will be like, oh, this is a W. Right? The moment that Tony Khan does it, it's totally okay. That's the same type of flex of like, oh, well, your other account, your bot account, yeah, I blocked that. That's the same flex of somebody going to harass a wrestler, and when that wrestler blocks them, they just tweet out, oh, this is a W for me because that wrestler was sensitive. This is the same fucking energy. Same fucking energy. And I'm only bringing it here. I'm only bringing it up because I really thought that was really bad. But again, like I said, nobody is going to question this. No one is going to talk about it. So I am, because I don't like when things like this happen for no reason. We just came off of a wonderful, hey, what up, Kenny? Glad for you to join the stream. Yes, we're talking about Tony and his crazy ass. I have been ranting for the past 57 minutes, give or take, because I like to play some music to get some people in here. But Vortex can attest to me fucking ranting about this because I think that it's a very bad business sense. And it's like, I don't have a business degree either, but I've worked in enough places, including WWE, where like you learn a little bit from each person. You learn a little bit from management and business sense, which, by the way, I did comment it on his fucking initial tweet, and I basically said, "Hi, I'm Marie Shadows. I'm and WWE ex-employee, and I'm as real as they get." Like, I hate that. Like, don't try to dismiss me and other people as not being people, Kenny is totally right. Kenny says, I seen the tweet but was too busy to talk about this. I'm sorry, this guy has issues. He does. And like, for someone like myself and you, and probably Vortex too, like if Vortex ever wanted to voice her opinion about it, like I bet you Vortex has stories of like bad business people like all three of us would happily be like, sir, this is what you're doing wrong and this is how you need to fix it. He'll definitely be like, oh no, we're all bots, you know? Like, man. Anyway, yeah, this bottom tweet where Tony basically tells the Sammy account, who has the profile picture of the Undertaker, he says, no, your other account is literally the only account I blocked today. I'm not sure if you came in around the time where I was saying that this is the same flex that people do on Twitter where they're like, hey, this wrestler finally blocked me after I've been harassing them, so that's a W. Same fucking flex. But yet then Tony Khan gets fucking praised for it. Same flex, but gets praised. What's the last tweet that I wanted to talk about? Okay. I jumped. Okay, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The other one down below. I'm sorry, this one is down below. The one that I was reading before where he flexed it's on the other side for all the audio listeners out there. Tony Khan continues to go on in this massive, it's not really a massive thread. Hey, the Pro Wrestling Podcast, what's up? How are you doing? Thanks for stopping by the stream. I am just currently ranting about Tony Khan here. So Tony Khan continues to say, research this one yourselves. You internet detective thrive in these situations. First of all, stop it with the fucking clapbacks. You don't need to fucking clap anybody that does, detective work. Now, while I do agree that some of the wrestling journalists out there either pull shit out their ass, copy and paste, or, just dig up shit where they're not supposed to be digging up. One, we are creatures of habit and we're way too curious for our own fucking good, but that's beside the point. I'm not trying to let them go. Whoa, Pro Wrestling Podcast, you missed like a lot of me fucking going off. But I'm glad that you've been better. But yeah, I'm not giving the wrestling journalists a pass because sometimes, they tend to look up shit that they're not supposed to look up. First of all, research is fun, right? Research is fun if it's in fucking kayfabe. It's not fun if I have to look up if this person is a bot or not. Like if I feel a Twitter account is a bot, I am blocking your ass and I'm moving on. Like that's what you need to do, Tony Khan. If you feel like there's way too many bots, block and go. Like that's your best friend on Twitter because there's always going to be somebody that creates a new account just to harass you. And I've been on the receiving end of being fucking harassed on Twitter. The only problem is, well, not really the problem. The good thing is that I knew how to fucking handle it before it got like way too out of hand. And that was the time that SRS came after me. So, I'm already experienced in blocking and going. But like, if he feels that he wants to use the word you internet detectives thrive in these situations. Like, bro, put the fucking phone down. Go work on your company and go work on Ring of Honor. So that way you can make a really good product. But you're here, you typing up a bunch of fucking words and shit like that. Again, disregarding the fans that built your company. And I did title this, don't bite the hand that feeds you, because the same fans that were with you can definitely burn AEW to the ground. And that's not what you want. Because the moment that happens is the moment that Warner Media is going to be like, oh, maybe this wasn't a good investment. Oh, maybe this wasn't a good idea. We're probably going to switch it around and put you somewhere else or try to ship you off to another network that, may want you. It's like, you got to put your good foot forward and not like put your bad foot out there. Like you don't do that. You're just stepping into your own fucking grave eventually. Like AEW was definitely the alternative. And I believe that when Cody Rhodes was like, this is the alternative, I believe it like 10% now. I don't, Uh so to answer the pro wrestling podcast question, he said, I'm kind of confused about how this is so controversial. What am I missing? So you're missing like different people's perspectives, right? It's sort of controversial because I've been saying like for the past time that it feels like it's just a slap in the face to everyone that has ever helped. Like, yes, we know that there's bots out there. We know that there's a handful of people that, talk shit about AEW, right? But it's the manner on how he phrases it and basically makes it seem as if like we're not allowed, whether we're human or not allowed to have any type of criticisms or hate towards a company. I mean, there's people out there, if we want to do different sports, there's people out there that hate on baseball, that hates on specific players in the NBA. Like, NBA Twitter, everyone is getting on Russell Westbrook. People legitimately like hate this guy. So, it's that kind of mentality of um maybe all of this got too much for Tony Khan, and Tony Khan doesn't know how to phrase things correctly, and then just shoots himself in the foot. What I'm complaining about is the fact that yes, there are bots on the internet. Yes, there are agencies that will hire an actual person to fill a job role that basically will manage all these social media accounts. Um, and, have to do something that maybe they don't like, but they're getting paid for it, right? So you're basically saying that like almost everybody has a bot account that tweets at AEW, whether or not it's anti, and they're not human. They're not human because you did an independent study that you never fucking released, but yet then want to say, oh, this study found that there's bots among the AEW community. It's the sense of making sure people are human, because you don't know, um, because you don't know what people are going through, and like if this is their job that's like not wrestling related. Maybe the person behind the screen has like a degree in marketing and social media, but they never really seen wrestling. So they might ask their friend like, "Hey, how do I do this?" They want me to send some negative shit out. Like that friend would tell them, "Hey, this is how you do it." And the only reason why I bring up that example is because back in the day, I used to work for Fanatics, and I used to be a regular customer service rep for the NBA store. So I told you guys this a lot of times. Like I don't know shit about any other sport. Wrestling is my bread and butter. So I went in there just knowing how to provide customer service, search for things, cashier, stock a little bit, but the crew I ran with was very helpful and knowledgeable in I was gonna say in professional wrestling, in basketball, that they gave me that knowledge, and nobody ever fucking backhanded me for not knowing, or just doing it just to do it. Like just, if I could say, like talking shit just to talk shit about the NBA. I know it seems like I'm probably making it a bigger deal than it is. It's just the fact that like I get so passionate about this because you're essentially alienating your good people that want AEW to succeed with some foolish ass comments, because you decided to like drop this just to have people tune into Rampage, which, by the way, this is baiting. And nobody should be baiting anybody to watch a product just because you can't get the ratings up. So that's basically like, I guess, a fast way of me like summarizing what I was talking about earlier. Um, and it's okay, pro wrestling podcast, if you don't see the controversy in it. Everyone is gonna have a different take on it, and there are other wrestling accounts on Twitter that basically pose amazing questions, such as, asking Tony Khan, like, hey, what about all the pro AEW accounts that come in and attack you for the smallest of things? That basically, like, if you have one little negativity about the AEW show, they come in and fucking attack you. No fucking word on that. But yet then TK has enough energy to be like, oh no, pal, I blocked your other account. It's one of those things of like, don't talk shit if you're not willing to either back it up or you're not willing to put on a better product. If he put on a better product, he wouldn't have to be talking shit. But then I'm giving him a little too much leniency for that. If any of that like makes sense and all the analogies make sense. And then Tony Khan continues to go on saying, speaking of wild things, you don't want to miss Jon Moxley versus Wheeler Yuta on AEW Rampage at 10 p.m. Yes, I'm giving him some free advertisement. You guys are free to go watch AEW Rampage if you want to. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to stay up that late to watch it. But I do think that Jon Moxley versus Wheeler Yuta never should have fucking happened. Judging by the video, spoiler alert, Wheeler Yuta bleeds. Like, okay, again, I do think that Wheeler Yuta is a little too inexperienced by withholding the pure championship title. But then again, Ring of Honor is going to turn into AEW 2.0. So, it would have been nice if they would have kept Josh Woods and had like a series of matches between Yuta and Josh Woods, just to show Wheeler how to do these pure matches. Because obviously, if you guys saw Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor, Wheeler Yuta didn't really understand how to have the pure championship match, which is okay. I mean, it looked decent. But yeah, I just wish that they would have had Josh Woods there to still be champion and Wheeler go series after series and eventually give it to Yuta after he understands what a pure championship match is for Ring of Honor. The Pro Wrestling Podcast says, I guess I can see where you're coming from. TK in the past year or so has lacked humility and self-awareness. I hope his ego doesn't get the best of him. I just don't think this is the worst thing he said. It's not the worst thing, but it's sort of like, did you have to really do this when you just dropped the information or the surprise of AEW Dynamite and Rampage will now be seen on New Japan World? It's also the fact of sort of exposing and having people think like, is he truly a leader? By doing this. And then you have to question, does he really want to get fans? Yeah, you're totally right that it's not the worst thing he said. I totally get that. It's the fact of nobody checks him on it. Nobody wants to pressure him when they do interviews with him and be like, yo, I need to get inside that brain of yours. Like, why are you like this? Why can't you focus on your product? Why can't you focus on the women's division? Why can't you focus on Ring of Honor now that you have it? And then to tweet something like this in the same day of saying to New Japan fans, hey, you now get to watch AEW Dynamite and AEW Rampage. Like, I mean, oh my God, give me a second, guys. House phones. I really hate house phones. It's not going to end well, and I've always been the type of person to just talk about like things that don't sit well with me. And while yeah, other people can like just blow it over, but like I said before, it's also the idea of that because it's Tony Khan, he doesn't really get a lot of shit for it. If it was Vince McMahon doing this, Vince McMahon would be dragged through the fucking mud. If it was any other wrestler that's not associated with AEW and that does not align with anyone else's viewpoint, they're gonna get dragged through the mud if it was them. You know, that's the only reason why I'm bringing it to people's attention. And it's just like, again, don't bite the hand that feeds you. This was like a direct thing of like, hey, you know, let's have the wrestling community fight amongst each other. I was saying this before that during WrestleMania week, we were all having fun, right? We were all like, you know, oh, this is super fun to watch. Oh, you should watch this, you should watch that. We had a super fun time during WrestleMania week, and even WrestleMania was really fun to watch. After WrestleMania, the wrestling community had some fucking drama between Kimberly and Nash Carter, and I'm not going to get into that, where there was like a little bit of a divide. But nonetheless, you know, people still had a good time watching like NXT. People still had a good time talking about wrestling here and there. And then Tony has to have his little moment of having attention. And it's like, bro, we were doing okay. You know, you don't have to continue making these type of tweets where you pin people against each other. Because the moment that someone wants to defend themselves and be like, hey, well, this isn't fair, like, you know, don't just like lump us into the anti-AEW things and like, you know, think that everybody are bots. Like, you could tell the difference, like who's a bot, who's not a bot, who just talks out their ass, and who just says stupid shit for the sake of saying stupid shit. Like, you can really like gauge like all these kind of mechanics. Is that the word I'm looking for? I don't know. Maybe that's the word I'm looking for. But you can gauge a person by like what they are with your interaction with them a couple of times. And then you can go to the block button. If Tony Khan was so fucking worried about the anti-AEW thing, why couldn't he make a fucking bot to block everybody that was anti-AEW? Which again is like a handful of people that I know, that I see sometimes fluctuate on my timeline, and I'm like, you know, yeah, this person is anti-AEW, you know? The other thing too, continuing on with this tweet, their boiler room staff is going to be working overtime on a Friday, and I love it. Wow. Aren't you such an evil fucking boss, huh? Again, imagine if Vince McMahon Vince McMahon in character, we should know the difference. In character, that's something he would say. This sounds like Tony Khan is trying to get a character, but it's a little too late for that. Very little too late. And then the last one is, ever wonder why so much of the activity of these accounts is retweets and replies? Like, who actually has 80% of their activity as straight up retweets? AEW and Tony Khan. Dumbass. I'm sorry. Sometimes I have to think like I have to be a little tiny bit more professional in this, but it really gets me upset that AEW was going in the right direction, and I wanted to get back on board with watching AEW and being there and shit. You know, it's like, bro, we move in the right direction, and then like, you know, you shoot yourself in the foot and we go back, you know. It's like you don't have, I guess it is self-awareness. You don't have any self-awareness of like the things you talk about, because it's like sometimes when you tweet certain things, or when you just write, okay, so when you just write in general, sometimes your sentences can be a reflection of your thoughts, can be a reflection of how you feel, can be a reflection of anything, your surroundings, your past experiences and stuff. Like, you know, when writers write their novels, when people write their short stories, they put a little bit of themselves into those characters and into that narrative that eventually you'll read when it's done. And that's exactly what Tony Khan does every single time he tweets. I really don't think this guy has any other I don't know what I'm really looking for this, but any genuine in him, like him being like genuine. I have a lot of red flags about Tony Khan. Just because things don't add up, and I'm not going to be one of those that's going to praise the hell out of him just because, you know, apparently he saved wrestling. If it wasn't him, it was going to be somebody else that would have came along and saved wrestling. Let's just say that, you know. Um, but yeah, um, again, this might not be a big deal to everyone else, but again, it's the fact of how he tweeted it out just to get ratings as baiting, and that's not how you grow a company. That's not how you grow a TV show. That's not how you create stories. You know, that's really not. Um, it's really fucking sad. It really is. It's like you're telling me you don't know what the fuck to do next because obviously Dynamite, um, you know, next Dynamite is going to be Adam Page versus Adam Cole in a Texas death match. And it's like, why? Why all of a sudden is Hangman Adam Page doing matches that are not part of his character? I understand that characters can like evolve and grow and like they might want to do hardcore matches, but you haven't had a feud longer than what, a month? And then you want to do a Texas death match for free for the title on TV and not a fucking pay-per-view? So that way there could be more chase, more layers, more stories. It fucking bothers me. And this is why sometimes I get upset at something like this. It's because he automatically has his mind made up that he might hear this criticism and these questions and just think that I'm part of the anti AEW online community when I have been focused from the very beginning of 2019 for this podcast to be I'm going to give you what's wrong with this wrestling situation and this is how we're going to fix it. You know, I've always been that way. So this is why I take it a little bit personally is because I, you know, as much as I want to work for AEW, right? Um, uh, as much as I want to work for AEW, I don't know if I can because then with comments like that, it's like that's a reflection on the company and that's a reflection on like him and then us. You know, I saw Eva Uno like parodying Tony Khan's tweet and it's like, bro, like, don't do that shit because then you give him a pass. You make him still be the child that he is. And someone should be telling him like that's wrong. Like, don't like tweet out shit like that. Like, just keep it to yourself. Like, if you feel like, you know, you're getting a lot more negativity, block everything out, change the algorithm for yourself and push that, you know, but you know, what do I know? Um, uh, So Kenny said, which they are taping Battle of the Belts and Heyman is not listed on it. Oh, um, when are they taping, um, Battle of the Belts? When is this happening? Because I don't know anything about this. Um, again, I tried to keep up with the AEW product, but those kind of tweets like turn me off. The whole pushback sort of turns me off. And yes, you're allowed to have pushback. You're allowed to have your opinions. You could also defend your company. That's great. But oh, next week. Okay. Um, but there are ways to go about it where you don't need so much damage control. And again, pinning the wrestling community against each other just to increase your ratings is a very scumbag move to do. Ah, okay. All right. See, I didn't know that. Um, but yeah, I'm I I'm probably not gonna stop talking about Tony Khan's tweet during this whole entire stream, but like it's the idea of that you're supposed to be the leader and showcase what you got, but instead, like, always talking shit. And again, this is like the New Yorker coming out of me, where it's like, bro, I can tell that, you know, you just want to talk shit for the sake of talking shit, just so you can get your ratings up. And by the way, New Yorkers tend to smell bullshit from a mile away. So, hey, Ronan, thanks for following me. Thanks for coming by the stream. It's been a while, man. Oh, you got confused by the TK tweet, man. When this is over, just go back and watch it, because I've already explained it and I don't want to explain it again. Um, I really don't want to explain it again. But if I can get this freaking thing. Next, we're going to talk about the AEW and New Japan thing, and I don't like it. I don't fucking like it at all. Um, I really don't fucking like it. Yes, I do react to wrestling matches. I have a Reddit community now, where you could drop the wrestling match into um the where you could drop the wrestling match into the Reddit, and like we'll watch it. Just today we're not doing that. But I'll always make a Twitter post about we're gonna be watching wrestling matches and shit like that. Um, but yeah, we do. All right, let me take this out. Let me take this out. Okay, we're talking about this right now, which is AEW and Rampage. Well, Dynamite and Rampage will now be shown on AEW. Oh my god, I'm getting everything wrong because I'm so still upset. Um, so, um, we're gonna be talking about Dynamite and Rampage. They're gonna be living on New Japan World. I currently pay for New Japan World. You guys should get a subscription to New Japan World. It is only $8 a month. It's way better than that WWE Peacock thing that they got going on. And I know you guys miss the WWE Network, so it's like what, $1 less than the WWE Network. So make sure to get your New Japan World subscription. Um, you know, that's free advertising for New Japan Pro Wrestling. They do not pay me at all to say that. I wish they did, but they don't pay me. If New Japan Pro Wrestling ever did pay me for something, I would cherish that shit like forever. Because I'd rather get paid from New Japan than like AEW, but that's just me. Because at least I know I'll have like a check coming in with New Japan Pro Wrestling. Not sure about, on the AEW side and whatnot. Anyway, there's more fucking drama on Twitter, but this is in relation to Bullet Club. Anyway, yeah, I'm not really fond of this, because here is my question. My question is, why is nobody questioning the fact of, if Tony Khan is a so-called billionaire, why is Tony Khan not making his own network service for everybody? Why does he have to piggyback off of other companies that have put in the years of hard work? Why? What is Tony Khan getting out of this relationship? That he's putting Dynamite and Rampage on New Japan World. He better not be getting subscription money. Because then that's like, bro, like, do you really have to leech off of other people, and you can't stand on your own 2 feet with the own company that you really wanted to do ever since you were a little kid? Like, you should have dreams and envisions of like, I want my own AEW subscription service. I want my own AEW this, own AEW that. If you were that passionate and you love AEW like you say you do, why are you piggybacking off of New Japan Pro Wrestling? when New Japan Pro Wrestling has like stricter fucking copyright laws than the United States. So you think that anybody who wants to like stream or take gifts, like the Japanese fan base, to take gifts and put them on Twitter to showcase other people, they're gonna get hit with copyright strikes. So first of all, this was like maybe a dumb move. Um, to answer Ronan's question, yes, Ring of Honor does have their subscription service still. They still have the Honor Club. That's how some people were able to see Ring of Honor Super Card of Honor. And you know, I question that, Ronan. I question about how much money TK is making, because I mean, um, I don't know if he's making any money. Um, I know that maybe like losing Cody, Marco, and Swole are not like a big deal, but I don't really think he's losing money, because I'm not sure if you heard. I know that probably not many people are talking about it, but uh, Tony Khan's father, Shad Khan, who invested in a all black news channel that went under, and um apparently like Tony Khan and like Megan were on like the board to like help out with that shit. So because that company went under, nobody got paid still. Tony Khan's father hasn't got paid, and you know, I question if that's a correlation to buying Ring of Honor, because the money had to come from somewhere. You know, like I really don't know if Tony Khan is making money. And nobody really wants to like ask these questions and put up sound bites for it. But you know, I just question if he is making money. Um, yeah, Stardom has a lot of copyright laws. It's impossible to watch Stardom women's wrestling free without pain. Um, I mean, we could talk about that offline. You know, there's ways. I wish personally that I can have enough money to pay for the subscription services that I want, so I could bring you guys a lot more content, and we could just turn this into a fucking Japanese podcast show. Because you know, as much as the ranting of AEW gets me the views, gets me, you know, a lot of good things, um I still want to bring you professional wrestling. I still want to bring you breakdowns of stories and all this kind of stuff. Um, but yeah, like, you know, yeah, I really think, and I guess we're gonna shout out Kyrie. Um, yeah, Kyrie Sane did return to Tokyo to Joshi Pro Wrestling. And she has been having some really good matches. Really good matches. But yeah, you know, I don't know if the Japanese audience was asking for AEW at all, but you know, let's just dive into some of the things that I read about this partnership. And it's amazing to me that fans would think that they want AEW to like be all up in the G1. And it's like, I want certain wrestlers to be in the G1. I don't want all the wrestlers to be, I don't want all the AEW wrestlers to be in the G1. I want certain wrestlers to be in the G1. Um, yeah, right? Like, I don't think Japan was asking for AEW. Like, Japan loves their Okadas, their Naitos, their Tanahashis. They love God, they love Bullet Club, they love the United Empire. Like, they love who they have, right? um I don't think Japanese fans are like, oh my god, we need to have Hangman Adam Page. Like, I don't even think most of them remember who Hangman is, even though he did a little tour over there, you know. um anyway, uh well, yeah, but yeah, I really don't know who was asking for this at all. And then it's like, are they gonna get it like so? Dynamite is on Wednesday. Does that mean that after it's done, they're gonna like ship it over to New Japan World, or is like New Japan World going to like wait a week to show it? You know, Ronan says Japan is a very tough crowd to start cheering or booing when watching wrestling live at attendance. Yeah, I mean back in the day, I think now it's a little bit more relaxed. It's a little bit more better. Um, so yeah. Oh yeah, I was talking about people and their weird takes about the G1. I do not trust Tony Khan to book a G1, so please do not put that out into the universe. Like, let's talk about the Owen Hart Cup for like a little bit, please. Um, you can tell that he has no story for that. You can tell that he's just booking it on a whim. And no, I'm not giving him ideas. I'm just remembering some of the shit that people said on Twitter, and I'm like, no, don't speak it out into existence because I don't want it. And people might think that like, oh, I'm trying to gatekeep. Like, no, Tony Khan does not have a good record of you know um creating what do you call it, creating tournaments and stuff like that. He doesn't have a good track record. That's why you leave it to the professionals. You leave it to Japan. um Even though Japan doesn't make sense either. How dare they not have Jay White win the New Japan Cup in 2020, and how dare they not have Tama win the New Japan Cup of this year? Like, how the fuck you don't do that shit? um anyway, I'm biased. Okay, I'm biased. But yeah, the Owen Hart Cup, basically, like, those matches are thrown together. Like, can someone please explain to me why we're having Willow versus Red Velvet? How do they embody the spirit and essence of like Owen Hart? You know, um how did Samoa Joe and Max Caster embody the essence of Owen Hart? Like, what's their motivation? How did Hikaru Shida and Julia Hart, of all people, Julia Hart, wear her fucking eye patch? How do they compromise? No, no, wrong word. I don't think I'm using the right word. Uh, how do they? Oh my god, I'm losing my train of thought. How do they like feel about Owen Hart? Like, did they get inspired? What's their motivation? Like, there's no motivation behind any of these matches in what do you call it? In the Owen Hart Cup, and I'm like, bro, you could do so much with this. You could have asked Bret Hart to have his input in it and be like, hey, how would you want to see this? Tell me like your memories of Owen Hart. That's why sometimes I don't believe that he is very passionate about wrestling and just does what he does. Because we get two different sides, we get two different people when it comes to like what Tony Khan produces versus like um what happens on the show. So Ronan says the more BS people gas him up with these notions is what will blow over in All Elite Wrestling. You and I don't want to see a ratings decline with televised episodes. There's 4 AEW shows: Dynamite, Evolution, Evolution Dark, and Rampage. Yeah, man. You've heard me many times say that I want AEW to succeed, but you know, um, at this rate, it's like, bro, stop showing your true colors, stop showing your true hand. You've definitely like revealed too much behind the scenes. And there's a lot of people that would just, go along with it. Oh yeah, I saw this. I saw that. I saw that. I saw that. I saw that. Um, yeah, it bothers me. Like, I don't have a press release. Most likely, we'll get a press release soon. And I could read like what went into it. But other than that, like, I don't know how this is gonna go. I'm still gonna keep my New Japan subscription, just because I need it for the rest, to talk about stuff. Uh, This is a strictly wrestling podcast, but I will say that Ronan thinks that Will Smith got what he deserved. Um, okay. I mean, if we were having like a Twitter space, then we could definitely like go off topic. But yeah, maybe at the end, I'll talk about it. But then again, everyone has their own opinion. Um, since we are getting like opinion Marie here. Um, I'm on Twitter talking to other people. Um, what I've been doing lately, I'm on Twitter. I'm on Twitter. I just haven't set up a Twitter Spaces yet, and I miss doing that. Um, anyway, uh, yeah, I don't really know what to comment about it. I don't know if like again we're gonna need to wait like a week for AEW Dynamite to come aboard. But yeah, getting back to Tony Khan's original like tweeting. So like this drops obviously during the morning for us, and it's the afternoon for them, meaning Japan, and in the same day, meaning today for us, like Friday. Um, uh, yeah, Ronan, if you want, hold on. Um, so yeah, I just think that it's a very bad look all around, because at one point you're supposed to be the leader and supposed to like not tweet out shit like that. Because it does make people look bad. Okay, give me a second here. Because there's a specific thread that I have that I need to get to you. Um, Here it is. Okay. So click that link and you could drop the match in there, and then I'll pick a day where we'll watch stuff. Um, because I want to do watching wrestling matches. It's not on YouTube. Then DM me just so that way I know where it's at. Um, or you could put in chat if if it's from one of those sites. Um, it's a title match from NXT UK. So how am I supposed to watch it? Very recent. Uh, okay, we could talk about it in DMs. I just don't know. Um, you know. Uh, and even Becky Lynch got in on Tony Khan's stupid tweet. Um, the moment that you start attacking the fans is the moment that you're gonna lose in the end. Because again, without the fans, sometimes like you're gonna end up as nothing. Um, the fans really do make you, and then you're gonna have this weird ass effect where it's like you say backhanded shit, and then when you do meet and greets, you're like a totally different person, and if that's not established like day one of you being a wrestler, being in the business. Yeah, it's just it's not gonna end well. Okay. You can't find it without one of those sites. Got it. Yeah, we're talking DMs about that. We'll talk in DMs. Um, but yeah, I don't really know what else to say about this partnership. I do know. I probably should check my mail to see if. Okay, that's not what I wanted to do. What the fuck? Um, I should probably quickly check my mail to see if I got a press release for it, but I really don't think I don't really think I have one. Nope. Not even in junk mail. Okay, yeah, so I don't have the press release yet. So that way I know more and I could tell you guys more. Um, but yeah, if you guys want to drop your thoughts about this whole AEW and Rampage on New Japan Pro Wrestling, go ahead and do so. But I'm not gonna like. All right, I'll answer this one. Ronan says, "What do you think is next for Cody Rhodes in WWE tonight?" Uh I say for Cody Rhodes to go after the title. I would have liked before that happens. I would have liked some more matches between. I would like some more matches between. What do you call it? Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins. I would like that. Just so that way it could build some more reps for Cody Rhodes. You know, not saying that like he needs it, but like just to build back up his portfolio um, with like just being in WWE and getting used to the system again. Not saying that like, you know, he's not used to it, but you know, it's the idea. Build him up and then slowly have him go after Roman. I don't see anything else. Uh, it'll be nice. It'll be interesting to see Cody versus Brock. But Brock has to like not um Brock has to not do so many German suplexes. Uh, you know, just to protect Cody. He doesn't have to do that. Um, so yeah. I think that for tonight, Cody should, you know, or just have Seth Rollins come out and like interrupt them and be like, yeah, you know, I gave you props Monday Night Raw for having a wonderful match with me at WrestleMania, but you know, let's run it back. Just because I really think their WrestleMania match was really good, and they could just have another one, tell another story, and then push him to Roman. That's that's what I would do. Push him to Roman. There is something else I did want to talk about, which is indie wrestling. You guys really don't hear me talk a lot about indie wrestling. Um, so this is happening. Which is basically no, I did not see the SmackDown preview that's for tonight. Did it have Cody Rhodes on it? um so yeah, we're talking about a little bit of one night only. It is the Takeover versus Shane Taylor Promotions, and they got this headlining Invictus Pro Wrestling, which is out in New Jersey. I was trying. Oh yeah, I know about that. I know that the NXT titles have been relinquished. I know. Um, so with this matchup, um, I was trying to get PJ onto the stream to talk about it, but I woke up in a very bad attitude. I woke up, just annoyed and angry. So I told him that we will basically talk about it again to know for when he could come by and talk about these matches, because he has been making a lot of noise, and the takeover are my boys. They put in a lot of hard work with all their vlogs. They put in a lot of hard work in like all the tours that they do between SWF, IWA, Invictus Pro Wrestling, some other companies that they work for on the East Coast. So I sort of want to put them over and have them talk to you guys about like their matches coming up. I'm probably not gonna get all of them on it, probably except for like two, which would be PJ and maybe excuse me. And like Bougie if they come together as a package. I don't know. But I'll keep you guys updated. Stay tuned to Twitter for that. But at first I thought that this was um team versus team, but it's not. So hold on. NXT Level Up is tonight at 10. I might watch it out over Rampage. Um, I thought NXT Level Up is was just like the pay-per-view. I didn't think it was like a. So wait, are we getting like two NXT Level Up pay-per-views? This is how much like I stay in contact with like a lot of things. I gotta get the other ones. So yeah, all right. You know what I'm probably gonna do? NXT 2.0 on Wednesdays and NXT Level Up on Fridays. Oh, I didn't know that NXT Level Up was a thing now, like a show. NXT UK on Thursdays. Okay. Which I never catch NXT UK. I never catch it. Um but yeah. All right. So let me grab the rest of the pictures. Oh, okay. So that I just okay. So that way I could just quickly talk about the matches cuz it's not that many. Okay. Um I do know that PJ Savage is going to go live tonight on IG at like 9 p.m. So you know, you guys could go check that out. Ronan says Roderick Strong battled the NXT UK champion Dragunov. Are you available to watch NXT UK latest episode off stream? Um yeah, but most likely I'm probably not. Even though I know that that's that probably might have been the match that you wanted me to see. Um but yeah, I mean, I'll eventually get around to it. It's not like I have a strong thing for like NXT UK. And apologies to all the UK fans. I just don't. It's okay. Um, I don't even know. I don't even know how I'm gonna like relax. It's an hour. It's an hour. Um, all right. Like I said, we could talk in DMs about that. Um, anyway, let's just quickly go over these matches and then I'll take Q&A and I'll tweet out. I'll take Q&A. Hold on. I should be able to write this faster. Um, so as you can see, we have PJ Savage versus Shane Taylor. Shane Taylor was a huge staple in Ring of Honor during the pandemic, creating his own team, the Shane Taylor Promotions. Shane Taylor Promotions, and they basically ruled Ring of Honor. I am happy that Invictus Pro Wrestling managed to get this match going, because it's kind of sad that Tony Khan doesn't want anything to do with Shane Taylor Promotions that basically helped Ring of Honor through the pandemic, and just helped them in general. And this is just a question of like, whose side are you on? Obviously, as much as I respect wrestlers and the business, and trying not to say some crazy ass shit, um, I'm gonna have to go with my boys, the takeover. So that's PJ, Bougie, Jacko, and Faceless. This is gonna be an amazing event. This is the main event of Invictus Pro Wrestling. It's on May 20th. The link to get your tickets are on Twitter, so you'll be able to see it. It's at Eventbrite. I would really love to cover this match. Hopefully, I get the chance to do that. All right, so next up we have Bougie taking on Ron Hunt. I've only just recently met Bougie. I need to release the vlog that I have with the takeover during promo day. I still haven't released that for you guys. If I do release it, it will be a coffee exclusive, which means that it'll be behind a paywall. I am so sorry, but I am poor. Come help out your original wrestling content creators and not the copy and paste brigade. So Bougie is really good as well. Ron Hunt, I've only interacted with him on Twitter, and his Twitter game, his Twitter game is really good. The same thing with Bougie as well. This is going to be one hell of an awesome match. And they're really gonna like tear the house down with this one. This one is gonna be really good. Again, the question is, whose side are you on? I am definitely on Bougie's side. And then the last one, where is it? The last one is Face and Jacko. They are the faceless ones. They're part of the takeover. And we have O'Shea and Moses. I've heard O'Shea's name like thrown around quite a bit. I just haven't seen any of his. I think I've seen like clips of his wrestling. I don't know who Moses is. So but Face and Jacko, I've seen them wrestle before. They're really good, and they're really cool dudes that I've had the honor of being around. So this one is probably going to be a really tough tag team bout. Really nice, really awesome. And again, I'm gonna be there. Oh no, I'm not gonna make that promise because I don't know what's gonna be happening when we come to May. But I am definitely going to be rooting for my boys to take over, and I'm really happy that they got this like settled, and they got this done. So yeah, I already ranted about Tony Khan's tweet. It's totally okay if people do not like agree with my assessment. It's totally fine, but it's the idea of that you are supposed to be the leader, the boss, and not act like a child in the process while trying to build up your fan base, while trying to build up something unique and special for everybody that should include everybody. But this happens. I will admit that maybe WrestleMania got into his head, because WrestleMania was really fun, and I haven't felt that good in watching WWE in a long time. And because Cody is now on WWE, you guys are gonna get WWE content where I talk about Cody Rhodes. Basically, that's basically what I would do. Talk about Cody Rhodes. Um, but yeah, I have nothing else. I feel good now that I like talked about all that shit. It's just, it might put me in a bad light because I'm bringing it to light because I got a podcast and maybe people don't want to take it seriously and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, if you're not calling out bullshit, or for people to be a little bit more kinder with a little bit more empathy and just think about, is this really worth it to tweet it? Are you not being on the same level as all the trolls that you claim that have this anti AEW rhetoric out for you? He doesn't really think about consequences or reactions to what he puts up. It's more about, how can he make the most buzz in the most couple of hours, just because nobody was paying attention to him for like a week. No one was probably paying attention uh, to the fact that Samoa Joe showed up in Ring of Honor and then like showed up at AEW and it wasn't making such a big noise. But Cody Rhodes is still being talked about. Cody Rhodes is still, being looked at and talking about. That's because Cody has the star power. You can't keep relying on Ring of Honor wrestlers, WWE wrestlers, that don't have the most star power like a Cody Rhodes to sort of have people talk about you guys. It's a pattern with Tony, and I really think that eventually that should really stop. That pattern. If I could see it, other people have seen it, and it's not really a good look at all. Um, but yeah, um, I really don't know what else to say. I don't want to go around in circles. All I wanted to do was get on here and quickly talk about that. As far as tomorrow I will be going live. I will be going over New Japan Pro Wrestling Hyper Battle. I will be talking about the championships. And then maybe tomorrow we'll watch the video package of it's called I Got Your Back. It's about Bullet Club and God teaming with main unit. So we'll watch it together so we could definitely feel the emotions, and I will definitely play the emotional damage meme at the end of it because that shit is going to be emotionally damaging. um if you guys want to ask me questions, you guys can. I already put it out on Twitter, but I do not know if anybody's going to come in here and ask some questions. Excuse me. Okay. um Today's Friday. All right. Okay. All right, so I'm going to be ending the stream here. I talked for 2 hours and 3 minutes, all on, I guess, if you want to say feeling, you guys can. Just know that I really don't like it when someone gives you a compliment by saying, "Thank you guys. You are the greatest fans in the world. You're awesome. I couldn't do this without you guys." But then all of a sudden, like, have a backhanded comment such as that, to have like to let you know that bots are ruining, like the anti. No, they're not ruining anything. That they're just perpetuating the anti AEW rhetoric and stuff for the online community. And yeah, I'm gonna agree that sometimes the negatives, can be a little heavy and a little weird. But other than that, it's like, yo, are you serious? Like, you don't need to backhand the same fans that will buy your merch, will buy everything, and then all of a sudden still thank them in the same breath. Like, no, that's some shady ass shit. That's some two-faced shit. And New Yorkers can smell that from a mile away. Like, we know when people are just being assholes for the sake of being assholes. So yeah, that's the reason why I decided to talk about this. Because originally I was trying to have PJ Savage on here, but we didn't come to an agreement just yet. But yeah, if that wasn't the big talking point, the big talking point would have been the AEW Dynamite and Rampage being on New Japan World, which I definitely do not like. But yeah, if you are watching this on replay, thank you anyway. Make sure to hit that follow button right here on twitch.tv/Marie_shadows. If you want to hear more or read more hot takes from me, head over to my Twitter account at Marie_shadows. And I promise you, I am a real person. I am not a bot. I am not one of Tony Khan's fucking fantasy bots. I'm telling you, he needs to release that study so that way his words can ring true. If you don't release a study, then you're just as liable as the dirt sheets that we have in the wrestling community. And that's not making the wrestling community better. We want to make the wrestling community better. Like myself and other podcasters who create original wrestling content, our job is to make it better, to make it a little bit more positive, a little bit more fun. And I've been on some fun podcasters shows. And interacted with them. They're wonderful human beings. They're actual human beings. They're not fucking bots. So please head over to at Marie_shadows, www.twitter.com/Marie_shadows, and you can interact with me. I am a real person. I am a real woman. And you can say hi. You can chat with me. I'm not a bot. Everyone else that I know is not a bot. And if they are a bot, most likely they're getting blocked by me. I'm sorry, it still kind of pisses me off. It's like, do not waver my existence in this world because you decided, Tony Khan, to have an independent study to say that there's bots. They like to retweet, they like to reply, and they definitely like to spread anti AEW hate. Or is it just that you just don't understand the criticism that's happening? All right, let me move on. If you want to ever support me, I have a Ko-fi page. Ko-fi is better than Patreon. Patreon is you either get the monthly subscription or you don't. With Ko-fi, you can either give me a one-time donation, get the monthly subscription, go to my shop and basically like shop there, and then I'm gonna be reopening all my commissions in a little bit once I stop being lazy. But anyway, Ko-fi gives you options for your hard-earned money, and that's what I love about it. And if you love options and if you love just giving for the sake of giving, head over to ko-fi.com/Marie_shadows. And then lastly, head over to my Reddit page, reddit.com/r/Marie Shadows. And basically just interact with me on Twitter, Twitch, and Ko-fi and Reddit. For all of my audio supporters, I thank you so much. I really, really do. I thank you so much for listening to all of my audio podcasts that are out there. Head over to anchor.fm/Square Circle Podcast, youtube.com/Square Circle Podcast. This has been an amazing talk. I want to thank Ronan for coming in here, following me, and chatting it up with me. Thank you for that. Vortex, you are most welcome. Thank you for being here too. I hope you learn a little bit more about wrestling because I know you don't really know much, but it's all good. I love it when you're here. Penny from the Call Up Podcast, love that you stopped by as well. And the Pro Wrestling Podcast, I love that you stopped here as well. And anyone else, thank you so much. We are going to be okay. I said that wrong. I am going to be playing Kingdom, Cody Rhodes theme song. That's what I have been doing every single time I end this stream. We're going to be listening to Kingdom as our song for the stream ending. So, ladies and gentlemen, you have been listening to an episode of the Square Circle Podcast. I am your host, Marie Shadows, and I'll see you guys on the next one.